Okay, picture this. A truly colossal earthquake strikes way off the Russian peninsula. We're talking tied for the 6th strongest ever recorded anywhere.
That's right, a massive event.
And it immediately sends these huge 16-foot waves crashing into the Russian coast.
Yeah, devastating locally there.
But then, thousands of miles away, that shock sets off a tsunami advisory right here for the Bay Area and other parts of California.
Mm-hmm. Which always gets your attention.
Right. Now, thankfully, that advisory, it got canceled, but that wasn't quite the end of the story, especially for folks right on the water.
No, not at all. The ocean has a long memory for things like this.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into what actually happened next. How did that huge, distant event play out in coastal spots like, say, Santa Cruz?
Good focus. Because the effects can be surprisingly localized and persistent.
Our mission here is to get past those initial headlines, look at how these sort of subtle but still treacherous conditions stuck around, and really help you understand not just what went down, but why the response in a place like Santa Cruz was, well, pretty effective this time.
Yeah, it's fascinating how that energy travels and transforms. You know, even when the main threat seems over, these harbors and coastlines can still be quite active.
And you could actually see it, couldn't you? I heard reports from Half Moon Bay, for instance, showing water lifting and dropping boats way more than usual, even after the advisory was officially off.
That's a classic sign. Those aren't just normal tides or currents. That's the residual energy we're talking about, the tsunami's echo, basically.
So treacherous conditions wasn't just like a standard warning phrase. It was real.
Oh, absolutely real. It's this energy reverberating, getting focused by the shape of the coastline, the harbor entrances. It creates these complex, unpredictable movements hours later sometimes.
Right. And in Santa Cruz Harbor specifically, what did people see there?
Well, observers there describe something quite dramatic. Water getting sucked out, pulled towards the ocean really strongly, and then moments later, it would come surging back in.
Wow.
Yeah, created quite a spectacle for the locals watching, I imagine. But it's also a very clear reminder of that power still sloshing around.
That just underscores the challenge, doesn't it? That raw energy. For people whose lives are tied to the water, like fishermen, well, that understanding is key.
It really is. Take someone like Josh Loya, a local fisherman in Santa Cruz.
Okay.
His response was really interesting. He got the advisory, skippered his small fishing boat back to the harbor.
Back to the harbor during an advisory.
Yeah, briefly, got it secured, evacuated himself, but then he spent the night anchored out offshore.
Ah, okay. So he didn't leave his boat docked. He moved it out. Why? What was his thinking there?
Well, that's where the local knowledge comes in, you see.
Yeah.
He talked about his usual spot in the North Harbor. He called it a bottleneck.
A bottleneck.
Yeah.
Meaning it gets narrow.
Exactly. It gets narrow there. And he knew from past events that when water surges in, that constriction can amplify the force. It can cause a lot of damage to boats docked right there.
Yeah, concentrating the energy.
Precisely. So by anchoring offshore in deeper, more open water, he figured he could avoid that squeeze, that damaging force he'd seen before, protecting his livelihood, basically.
Smart. Based on hard experience, sounds like.
Definitely. And speaking of seeing things unfold, there was this incredible moment caught on tape.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, during an interview, right as they were talking, the harbor just started churning again, right there on camera.
Oh, way.
Yeah. Water suddenly got sucked back out towards the ocean. You could see small bits of debris just rushing out, almost like a river.
Wow.
And then just as quickly, it came surging back in again. The reporter called it a tidal surge that's not normal.
Chilling. Just shows that energy was still very much active.
It really does. An unsettling but very clear picture of the tsunami's lingering power long after the main event.
So, given all that churning, that residual energy, what was the actual damage in the end? The first surge, I think, hit Santa Cruz around 1:0 a.m.
That's right, about 1:0 a.m. And it wasn't huge, but yeah, it did leave a mark, though thankfully quite minimal overall.
Okay, so what are we talking? What specifically got damaged?
Well, there was a small work platform boat. It got partially swamped, basically filled with water, and had to be hauled out.
Okay.
And a water pipeline near the harbor mouth broke.
That's being repaired now. The harbor director specifically mentioned one broken pileup and also that the dredge pipe disconnected.
A broken pile, a disconnected pipe, a swamped platform. It sounds, well, not good, obviously, but maybe not catastrophic.
Exactly, and that's the key point. The harbor director himself stressed how minimal this was compared to other recent tsunamis.
Right, because Santa Cruz has been hit before.
Yeah.
2011, wasn't it? and 2022.
Yes, both times sustaining significant damage, much worse than this. So this time, the outcome really highlights how effective the preparations must have been. So what changed? What do you think made the difference this time compared to, say, 2011? Was it infrastructure, better warnings?
It seems like a combination, really, pointing towards that idea of learning from the past. After those damaging events, especially 2011, there was a real push to reinvest in the harbor.
Makes sense.
They strengthened things like pilings, looked at mooring systems, improved how they communicate warnings within the harbor. It wasn't just rebuilding, it was rebuilding smarter, using the lessons learned.
Applying those hard lessons.
Absolutely. That proactive work on the infrastructure, combined with the timely warnings this time around, really seems to have paid off in preventing much worse damage.
It's a great example of learning and adapting. And does that extend beyond the harbor infrastructure to the community itself?
I think it does. You see it in how people respond. Take Roger Pollock. She's a retired flight attendant, lives near the beach, and she's actually trained in emergency preparedness.
Okay, so she has some background.
Right. And she has a special needs daughter, Aspen, so preparedness is obviously very important to her family. She was really impressed with the public alert system this time.
How so?
Just how well people seem to react to it. She felt people are really heeding the warnings more seriously now.
And why does she think that is?
She directly linked it to collective memory. People remember devastating events. She mentioned the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, the tragedy in Thailand.
Yep.
And closer to home, people in Santa Cruz remember seeing their own beautiful harbor, as she put it, get damaged repeatedly.
So it's not just an abstract warning anymore. People have seen the consequences.
Exactly. It's become ingrained. That shared history, that awareness of what can happen, seems to be driving a more cautious, more proactive response from the whole community, not just the officials.
So wrapping this up, we've really traced the ripples from this huge, distant earthquake, seen its subtle but real effects thousands of miles away on our coast, and uncovered how preparedness, driven by past experience, really made a difference in a place like Santa Cruz.
It's a powerful illustration, isn't it? How that community knowledge, the infrastructure upgrades, the effective alerts, how they all come together to lessen the blow, even from one of the strongest quakes on record.
It really is. Which leads to a final thought, perhaps. When we face these near misses, these events that could have been much worse, what else can we learn?
It's a great question.
Beyond the science, what do these moments reveal about maybe our own resilience, our ability as communities to adapt? And maybe how can these near misses push us to think about readiness in ways we haven't even considered yet?
Yeah. What are the next steps that only become clear after you've dodged a bullet like this? Food for thought.